Hi there, welcome to week 6 of producing digital news. This week we're looking at the fusion of Adobe Muse and Photoshop and how to use both applications in both. So what we're going to do now is just going to put this in preview and sort of look at ways of how we can layer with shadows. This is just an example of an AFL player who had to return to South Africa because he found it difficult without his culture and his support network. So here's a man emerging from the shadow after a pretty tough time in the AFL. So anyway, we'll show you how we can flick back and forth between the two sites. So what I'm going to do, let's just build something in this page here. Okay, so I've already recruited a masthead, New York Post today. And let's look at placing some photos. So we're just going to go and create some, get some PSD photos here. Just a standard PSD. Let's see if this one's pretty standard. And all you do, you double click and it's in. It'll come up pretty big, so we'll just have to resize. But basically what we'll be doing is showing you how you can flick it between each site. Now this is an interesting piece because I've actually etched this, and you can see that the colour's been taken out of the sky. So we can do something quite interesting with that. I haven't worked out what yet, but let's see if we can do something which is going to make it work. Alright, so let's just have him there, and I'm just going to bring him in a bit into that margin there and bring him up here. Okay, so I just got him there for the moment. Alright, and let's we can go into edit the original, and we can go straight into Photoshop. So that's the original that I've saved, and we you know, you can do some interesting things. The opacity I've got is you know, you can change that. So I've given that a full opacity, and so maybe I can recruit that back in and see what it does. So I'm going to say that it's a PSD document as well. So I'm going to call it 2AA, just to distinguish it. Okay. So what we're going to do now is recruit that just by placing. So we're going to get that. Okay, so this is the picture I just worked on. It's come up yet, so I'm going to try that again. It's sometimes a little bit temperamental. There you go. Okay, so here it is. Here's another layer. Now I've changed the opacity for this layer, so it just gives us greater choice of setting up some interesting pictures. So I might use this guy at the back. Actually, I might use this one at the back because I can change the opacity quite a lot with this one. So I might just give him a full length. Okay, right, and I'm going to put him there. I'm going to actually cut that, and I'm just going to bring him there. And the reason is I'm trying to stretch the page. So I'll bring him down there. And I'll just stretch that across a bit more. So it's going to be quite a large background presence. But I'm going to make him without much opacity at all, like a real ghostly figure. Okay. Alright, so that's the kind of look that I wanted for him. And I'm just going to stretch this across. Alright, okay, so now I'm going to go to this layer here and bring him. Okay, there's still a bit of cropping and work I have to do. All right, so you've got to work out how you want to do that. There's some etching problems here. Maybe if I can cut that for a sec and I'll go back to the original, that will cut out the etching problem. And this is just a matter of experimenting and working out what's going to look good. And sometimes you just don't know what's going to look good and what's not. So how about we could take this picture here, and it's a lot cleaner and darker, and probably better for this type of job. So I'm just going to bring him in here. Bring the guy to the front. So we're going to move this guy so his head is over, but I want to stretch that image across. A bit high now. And I've got a really good etching, so it works a little bit better. Okay, so that's the foundation image. Okay, so we've got that. So we're just going to have to crop it, which we can do here. Okay, so just want to get him on that border. Okay. So it doesn't quite work, so I've got to revert that back. Alright, and just get that crop right. Okay, so that's a bit better. So now I'm going to go back into this other image, bring him to the front, okay, and change the opacity for this one. So you can make it a little bit stronger. I'm just going to cut it off where I've got this little problem here. But with the back image, with this image, I'm just going to change something what I had intended. Change. No. That's not too bad. Okay, so you get quite an interesting effect, alright? And this is all part of it, moving from the shadow. Do you want the guy at the background lighter? Well, actually, yeah, I do. So I'm gonna, that's sort of the shadow that I was wanting him to be. I'll just go back. And this one, I'm wanting a little bit heavier now, because I think I've nailed that, how I really want it. But I can just experiment with that and make his face a little bit more stronger. Alright, so that's something that you can do. This is going to be cut, this part that I didn't really want before. This can now be cut out of that action. So we can cut it to there. Alright, the bottom layer we can cut so it's all even. Okay, so it's a lot in better shape. I'm not going to worry about the other layer at the moment, but it was sort of the shape I was after. These are the sorts of things you can experiment with. Now I should be able to get a fairly decent headline out of this. So I might line it with a black. So what I might do is simply click T. Maybe I can copy something. Well, that's not kind of what I wanted to do, so I'm just going to go back. So I'm just going to get some words here. Merging from the shadow, text, paste it in. Okay, and I'm just going to go into the text box here. And I really like impact, so I'm going to use this and make it quite big. So, and then just guide the box. Maybe I can do 2 decks and have it quite tight. Don't mind the strong black. I think it works okay for this, for what I intend to do. So we might stick with that, which I'm actually quite happy about, because I was wondering how I was going to cope with that. Might just make this box do the 2 deck, which I quite like, and just going to build it up a little bit. Just bear with me. 70. And then you can change the box size again, just so if you want to get 2 decks. I don't want 3 decks, so I really like 2 deck headlines. I think they're a lot more effective. And then I can put it in wide. I'll just show you what I can do with this. So I can put it in wide, and I can have like a text stroke. I'm trying to get the stroke swatch, fill. Strokes disappeared on me. So I think if I just go back to text and then go there, should be able to anyway, I think the black works better, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to go back. I'm just having a little play, and that's all part of the game. You know, you've got to play and see what works the best. It's not easy all the time, but that's how you get the effects. Now, I can do a bit of work here on the spacing. So I'm not happy with that spacing. And this is where you can do this sort of the fine tuning. Alright, so just going to change that. That wasn't too bad where it was, but it doesn't hurt to know what you can do. Alright, so let's have a preview. I should really cut it. Just going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to cut it on this side. I'm just going to crop it here. To there. So it looks a little bit better. Alright, just do a little preview. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. There's a little bit of work that needs a little layering to be done here with the background, because the background colours changed as a result of the opacity. But you get the idea of what you can do. Okay, it's a lot of fun, but it's just a matter of etching right, making sure it's all lined up correctly, and yeah, have a go. But the whole purpose of this was to be able to use pictures, and knowing that you can edit the copies, knowing that you can go into the original, and you can do some work on these images, and that's all part of it. You know, you can do some photoshopping and integrate it with Muse. Have a practice, enjoy. Here's another example that I did, which I probably like this a little bit better. Merging from the shadow. So that's just another example on how you can do it, and it's good fun. This probably is a better result, but that's all part of it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy having a practice. Thank you. Bye bye.